Let the record reflect we've reconvened with all members present. Councilwoman Ehrlich and Councilman Harlan Kudus are absent excused. For those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You did. All right, may I have a motion for the executive minutes of October 11th, 2023?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion for the regular minutes of October 11th, 2023?
So moved.
Second. Any corrections, changes, or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Right. Welcome all. We have quite a turnout tonight. And just a couple of comments, and we are doing a little rearrangement of the agenda. After my greeting, we'll go right to the Madison Police accreditation process. So our presenter, who has a 2-hour drive, can get on the road, but he may want to stay and listen to the rest of the meeting. Obviously, this past Saturday was the rescheduled Bottle Hill Day, which regretfully, because of family gathering, I missed it for the second year in a row. The good news was it was the best Saturday weather in 7 weeks. Of course, the bad news was that the bar was set very low for Saturdays for 7 straight weeks. But from everything I've heard and read about, that despite the morning showers, we had an amazing day. And I want to thank Lisa Ellis for her dedication, doing everything except for controlling the weather to make the day a great success. And I will thank the vendors, performers, volunteers, and of course all the visitors that made that day such a great one. Tomorrow I will be speaking at the Summit area Old Guard, telling them the story of what makes Madison great. And as I was working on a presentation, one of my slides, it will be a presentation on our generous residents in our past, such as Willis James, who donated our first library, which is now the Museum of Early Trades and Crafts, and of course Geraldine Rockefeller Dodge, who initially her first big donation was a fire truck to the fire department, which we now have in our firehouse. But of course this amazing building was given in memory of her son. And this tradition, as announced at the last meeting, is continuing as we accepted a donation from Martin Heller of $1 million, allowing us to save the Masonic Lodge, Madison's oldest church, creating a community center in memory of his son. So we truly have some amazing and generous people in our town, and I think the Summit Old Guard will be very impressed and jealous of the Madison story when I go there tomorrow. And a couple other things going on. This Friday, we have the groundbreaking for our affordable housing project, our passive construction, the first in the state. It would be at 11:30 a.m. It's a long time coming. It'll be an amazing celebration there. And for my Drew update, we're gonna go to the videotape, as Warren Wolf used to say. We had to put together a video for our application to the county. And this video, which you're about to see, was done by Paul Morgan of Finite Visual. Paul is a Madison resident, and he's done previous videos for us. And this one, like his others, just hits it right out of the park and tells the great story of Drew University Forest. So here we go. The Drew University Forest Preserve, 51 intact acres with mature trees and glacial ponds on Drew University's 163-acre campus in Madison, is an irreplaceable environmental resource because of its unique diversity and features. My name is Mayor Bob Conley, and over the next few minutes, I, along with my partners in government and friends of the Drew Forest, will be explaining to you the importance of preserving the Drew Forest, a gem in Morris County.
The biodiverse forest preserve is one of the only forests in the county with native understory, where beech and sassafras seedlings thrive, where pollinators and other insects survive with the birds that depend upon them. The forest purifies and recharges natural groundwater supplies and reduces flooding, surface runoff, and soil erosion. This intact woodland also serves as a priceless educational environmental resource laboratory with great value to the entire region. I will now invite my good friend, Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, to explain some of the benefits of saving the Drew Forest.
Thanks, Mayor Connolly. Over the past several years, my office has worked to think of federal ways we can preserve the Drew Forest right here in the heart of Madison in New Jersey's 11th district. The Forest Preserve is essential to the region's water supplies and water quality. The forest provides critical recharge for the aquifer, a major source of drinking water for 31 municipalities in Morris, Essex, Somerset, and Union counties. Through its canopy and roots, the forest captures and purifies approximately 71.5 million gallons of rainfall each year. The towns that are most important for the Buried Valley Aquifer recharge, towns whose borders are entirely within the recharge zone, are all in Morris County: East Hanover, Florham Park, Hanover, Long Hill, Madison, Morristown, Morris Plains, and Chatham Borough. Maintaining and protecting aquifer recharge to the Buried Valley Aquifer is critically important given that water levels are decreasing over time as water use has increased and recharge areas have been developed. Because it's an intact forest with some of the oldest trees in Morris County, Drew Forest has critical carbon sequestration benefits that cannot be replicated by individual trees in suburban yards. Thanks so much. I look forward to continuing our work with the mayor, with local stakeholders, so that we can preserve this crucial forest right here in northern New Jersey, so important to Madison, to Morris County, and so many of our communities.
Thank you, Congresswoman Sherrill, for your continued creativity in obtaining funds to help preserve the forest. The Drew Forest is a biodiversity oasis, providing a home to many New Jersey's native species that are declining elsewhere. For birds, bats, and small mammals, the forest's towering oak, tulip, and sugar maple trees provide branches for roosting, insects for eating, and tree cavities for shelter. New Jersey has 6 year-round bat species, including the federally endangered Indiana bat. Senator Bucco, thank you for your continued support in preserving the Drew Forest. Would you mind sharing some forest facts that are a direct benefit of preserving the Drew Forest?
Mayor, it's a pleasure to offer my support for this project. Driving around Madison and many other municipalities in Morris County, it's great to see the signs supporting the preservation of the Drew Forest. It's fantastic to know that preserving this natural beauty has support from so many residents. Researchers studied the physiological benefits of a forest atmosphere and found that forests could lower concentrations of cortisol, pulse rates, and blood pressure. The data confirmed what many cultures have always known: the natural environment can enhance human health. Preserving the Drew Forest and opening it up to the public as a passive open space would be a benefit to all. Pollination is an essential ecological survival function. Nearly all the world's seed plants need to be pollinated. Pollinators are responsible for bringing us 1 out of every 3 bites of food, while also preventing soil erosion and increased carbon sequestration. The Drew Forest, especially restored areas like the Zuck Arboretum and the Hepburn Woods, provides an indispensable pollinator-friendly habitat. The environment and public benefits that would be lost if this property was cleared for development are great. Such an action would include the loss of public trails, carbon sequestration, and unique regional opportunities for education. I look forward to continuing to advocate for the preservation of the forest and ensuring the success of Drew University.
Hello, my name is Judy Kroll. I'm co-chair of Friends of the Drew Forest, a 501c3 not-for-profit, all-volunteer organization that was formed in May of 2021 to try and preserve the Drew Forest. Our organization is made up of environmental leaders from Madison and other towns, as well as Drew alumni and interested volunteers. Through our efforts, we have collected nearly 15,000 signatures to preserve the forest, and our vision is a win-win scenario where the forest is preserved and Drew University receives financial support. Comprising 43% of the forest preserve, the Hepburn Woods and the Zuck Arboretum are regionally significant examples of forest restoration. The forest restoration carries major significance for the county and the state, which is plagued with an empty forest syndrome due to deer overpopulation. If permanently preserved, the Drew Forest has the potential to be an important and unique educational center for the region. To find a similar healthy understory, residents would need to travel to preserved areas of the Catskills. Both the Zuck Arboretum and Hepburn Woods are fenced restoration areas within the Forest Preserve and are used heavily for research and teaching for Drew University students, making the forest a living, learning laboratory. Within the Zuck Arboretum are 2 wildlife-rich ponds, which are important teaching and research laboratories and provide accessible habitats for the public to view frogs, turtles, and dozens of bird species. A diversity of wildlife includes one of the state's largest American toad populations, painted turtles, bullfrogs, fish, dragonflies, and an intricate microfood web. Such habitat is extremely uncommon in the region.
Madison is fortunate to have Drew University, the university in the forest, as part of our community. Preserving the 51-acre Drew Forest through the assistance of the Morris County Open Space Trust Fund would not only add 51 acres to the region's open space inventory, but allow for the continued success of Drew. Bringing over 1,500 students to our community, with 90% living right here on campus, and employing close to 600 employees, Drew serves as an economic catalyst for Morris County. The preservation of the Drew Forest for future generations is our dream. And with the generous support of the Morris County Open Space Program, we can make this dream a reality.
In the back, Paul, want to stand up for a second so we can. Great job. So as mentioned, that video was presented to the Open Space Committee for the county, and we hope that put us over the top because it really tells a great story. We have received word from the committee is recommending a level of funding for the forest to the Commissioner Board. We don't know the amount, but we fingers crossed that it will be the full $10 million that we requested. But for those that check the commissioner's schedule and spread the good word and the importance of this, we'll be sharing this video out there. And one little side note on that, Congressman Mikey Sherrill did hers in one take, and I took about 20 takes to get my part in there, but it was quite a production. I'm going to come down and present a proclamation, and we have a swearing in also. Gati Bhatt, please come forward, and also other friends. Whereas Hindu American Awareness and Appreciation Month seeks to bring local awareness, recognition, and acknowledgement of the significant contributions made by Hindu Americans across the United States. And whereas there are estimated 1 billion Hindus worldwide and approximately 3.4 million Hindu Americans in the United States. And whereas Hindu Americans represent diverse ethnic backgrounds, including individuals of Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Malaysian, Indonesian, Afghani, Nepali, Bhutanese, Sri Lanka, Fijian, Caribbean, and European descent, and whereas the Hindu heritage, culture, and traditions and values provide solutions to many of life's problems and often serve as a source of inspiration, reflection, and contemplation for the individuals who look to the teachings of Hinduism for guidance. And whereas Hindus are primarily an immigrant community and many Hindu immigrants arrive as students in search of a better economic opportunities or to unite with family members, while others arrive facing religious persecution in their countries of origin. And whereas Hindu Americans share the entrepreneurial spirit of America and contribute to the economic vitality, growth, and well-being. And whereas, despite their positive contributions, Hindu Americans face stereotypes, misconceptions about their heritage, and have been targets of bullying, discrimination, and hate speech, and bias-motivated crimes. So now, therefore, I, Robert H. Connolly, Mayor of Borough of Madison, on behalf of the governing body, hereby proclaim October 2023 as Hindu American Awareness Appreciation Month in order to increase the understanding of the Hindu American community and celebrate the extraordinary cultural diversity in our community. Thank you for bringing this to us, and I'm just honored to present this to you.
Hello, my name is Mahi Bhatt, and I'm here to deliver a speech. Ladies and gentlemen, and Mayor Bob Connolly, distinguished guests and fellow citizens, we are deeply honored to accept this proclamation on behalf of our Hindu community as we celebrate the month of October as Hindu Heritage Month. This recognition by our city means more than words can express. And it underscores the value of inclusivity, diversity, and cultural understanding that will make our city truly special. The Hindu American community, fully integrated into the fabric of American society, continues to uphold the rich tradition of their ancient civilization. Often called the ideal immigrant group, Hindu Americans lean on their strong family structure, strong work ethic, and deep reverence for knowledge, and making strong contributions to our adopted land in every sphere of human endeavor. Be it science, engineering, technology, education, medicine, business, entrepreneurship, spirituality, holistic living, and a lot more. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Connolly and the entire city administration for honoring the contributions of Hindu community to our vitality of our beloved city. Let this proclamation serve as a reminder of the unity that defines our city and of our commitment to fostering an inclusive environment where all cultures are respected and celebrated. Thank you once again for this recognition. Namaste.
Well done. Thank you.
She did it in one take, Mayor. She did it in one take, Mayor.
Thank you for pointing it out. Jack Downs and family, please come up. Chief, please come forward. That's for you. Raise your right hand. Left hand of the Bible. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, John Downs,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully,
that I will faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly perform
all the duties of
probationary
firefighter
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
I further solemnly swear
I further solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same,
to the same
and to the governments
and to the governments
established in the United States
established in the United States
and in this state
and in this state
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Welcome aboard. Yep, make it official. There we go. Yep. We got his haircut. Take your time. It should be noted that Jack Downs joins a family tradition. His father was a police officer in Madison and went to Harding. When he retired from Harding, came back and is our resource officer at the high school. So it's great to have him on board. As we let the noise slowly quiet down, we will get ready to do our next agenda. As mentioned, we are rearranging the agenda slightly. So we will go to the presentation on the Madison Police Accreditation. Chief? Yep. Yes.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. It is indeed my privilege to be here tonight to recognize your police department, the Madison Police Department. So if you indulge me for a couple of minutes, I'd like to share with you the significance of the achievement. And to add context to it, I should say that there's about 54% of the agencies that come through our program that have made it once through the accreditation process. There's 34% that made it twice through our process. There's only 19% that have made it 3 times through this process, and that's the group, the elite group that the Madison Police Department had joined. So they actually belong to a small group, less than 19% of agencies that have made it to our program 3 times. So the Madison Police Department has once again maintained a commitment to adhering to best practices at the state and national level in a highly regarded statewide law enforcement accreditation program. This program, administered to the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Accreditation Commission, has helped to transparently demonstrate the professionalism and preparedness of state law enforcement agencies. This program is purposefully designed to enhance the professionalism and transparency in the state's public safety system. During these uniquely challenging times and a threat to our health and safety, encouraging law enforcement agencies to follow standardized practices and policies is potentially life-saving and cost-effective investment of time and resources. Now, accreditation also gives an agency a preparedness plan and a verification of excellence. Accreditation status represents a significant professional achievement. As I mentioned before, the Madison Police Department is now a member of a very elite group of law enforcement agencies in the state of New Jersey. And in closing, I'd simply like to mention at the end of this rigorous process, it takes 3 years to get reaccredited, there's a on-site assessment. So we actually come here and we make sure that the agency shows proofs, over 450 proofs to about 112 standards in the state of New Jersey. So out of the report that is submitted from that assessment comes to me, and I submit it with the recommendation to the Law Enforcement Commission. I'd just like to paraphrase some of the things that we found. Under the leadership of Chief John Misha, the Madison Police Department demonstrates a high level of competence, leadership, and professionalism. The agency is working with social workers and therapists to develop and implement a hybrid program where mental health professionals will correspond with police officers to calls for service involving mental health episodes. Quite a progressive initiative. Another goal of the Madison Police Department is to continue their efforts to diversify the department by attracting more minority applicants from the Madison Township itself. Another thing I wanted to say, I mentioned those big numbers, 112 and 400 proofs. So typically, there's something that we do find when we come here. Seldom do we not. Well, in this case, we didn't. So the Madison Police Department had a remarkable final assessment where we didn't find any issues whatsoever. So back in grade school, that would be an A+. So it is the opinion of the assessment team that the Madison Police Department is a highly professional and committed agency which exemplifies all of the tenets of law enforcement accreditation at the state and national level. Therefore, the New Jersey State Association of Chiefs of Police and the New Jersey Law Enforcement Commission congratulate Chief John Misha, Accreditation Manager Captain Joseph Longo, the members of the Madison Police Department, the mayor, the council, and those citizens that they so proudly serve for having achieved their third reaccreditation, joining a very, very exclusive group of law enforcement agencies that make this important commitment to excellence in policing. So to all indeed, congratulations.
Mayor, why don't you come up front? Hey, John, why don't you come on down? Maybe. Let's wait.
Thank you. A lot of work for that happening. Team, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Chief. You want to say anything? I think the chief may want to. Hey, Mayor, I think the chief wanted to.
Say a quick couple words. I can't take all the credit for this. As the chief said, there's 112 standards, 400 proofs, and Captain Longo really led the whole accreditation team. So if anyone deserves any recognition, it's Captain Longo and the team under him. So thank you.
Community Affairs, Mr. Hoover.
Thank you, Mayor.
And also the ad health for Tom.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Before I say my remarks, I just wanted to mention that today they opened the largest Hindu temple in the United States in New Jersey today. So that's really good. That underscores the presentation we made before. From the Downtown Development Commission and the Director of Business Development, despite the rainy morning and windy afternoon, Bottle Hill Day on last Saturday, October 21st, was a great success. I want to particularly thank, as the mayor said, Lisa Ellis and then the team for what they did. A formal written thank you to all involved will be sent this week, but that Madison Downtown Development is extremely grateful to the Madison Department of Public Works and the Madison Police Department. Their hard work and professionalism are a tremendous asset to this community, this event, and the Madison community. Please visit the terrific vendors at the Madison Farmers Market on Thursday at Dodge Field from 1 to 6 p.m. This season continues through November 16th and will feature live music weekly. From the Chamber of Commerce, scarecrows decorated by the businesses will be displayed on Waverly Place from October 18th to November 1st. The Halloween Parade and Magic Show is scheduled for Saturday, October 28th from 12:30 to 3 p.m. The rain location will be at the gym at Central Avenue School. In the Madison Community Arts Center, the New Jersey Photography Forum is presenting a month-long exhibition on Museum walls. On the Road Again features the travel photography of 3 of the forum's members. The exhibition ends on November 16th. Gallery hours are the MAC website. Art by the People will present their monthly literary open mic on Wednesday, November 1st at 8 p.m. Sign-ups begin at 7:30. The public is welcome to read or just attend. There is a free writing workshop presented by professional writers. Please help. From 7 to 7:45. Spotlight Kids will present Anastasia Youth Edition from November 3rd to the 5th. Evening shows on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. Matinees on Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. On Sunday, November 5th, the much celebrated documentary film Joan Baez, I Am a Noise, will be screened by the Film Society of Summit. The program begins at 4:30 p.m. On Saturday, November 11th, the Film Society of Summit will present the remastered version of Talking Heads' classic concert film Stop Making Sense at 7:30 p.m. From the Health Department, excuse me for a second. Health education. Promotional materials dropped off, drawstrings, bags, bracelets, journals, pencils, writing pads, etc. at Madison Junior School in preparation for Red Ribbon Week. Packed and collated 50 resource bags with material related to substance abuse, mental health, etc. for distribution at Bottle Hill Day. Promoted health education materials for health, lungs, and breast cancer awareness. Nursing. Conducted a blood pressures clinic on October 4th at Vested Tucker. Attended the Morris County Public Health Nursing meeting on October 17th. Conducted a blood pressure October 20th to 23rd at Madison High School. Awaiting the NJDOH to provide flu vaccines. Once obtained, vaccine clinics may be scheduled. Environmental. Conducted investigation from resident portal at 39 Lathrop Avenue. Large amounts of garbage dumped on sidewalk abated. Investigation at 150 Kings Road. Dead tree at rear of property. Property owner notified and is scheduled for tree removal. Ongoing complaint at 5 Beverly. Unmaintained property summonses have been issued and awaiting court's prosecutor. Compiling a list of all active establishments for license renewal for 2024. Thank you, Mayor. That's all.
Thank you very much. Utilities, Mr. Landrigan.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. All right.
From the electric department completed the racking of the fiber optic line between the two substations, Kings Road and James Park. The next step is to splice the line, which will be performed by 3B Communications. The town experienced several power outages in the last 2 weeks caused by squirrels. In each incident, power was restored within 1 hour. The department assisted Russ Brown and Jim Burke to run the fiber optic line from the building to the new trailers at the library. The department also installed a new LED street light for safety. The department has been setting new utility poles all over town for contractors at construction sites. The Madison Police Department provided the electrical department with a list of street light outages which are completed ahead of the October 31st trick-or-treating. Utility crews made sure that all electrical outlets were active and available for Bottle Hill Day. Asplund Engineering is working with the electrical department on an arc flash study at both the James Park and Kings Road substations. From the water department, the water department assisted the fire department after an apartment complex fire on Madison Avenue. The water department also assisted the electric department by excavating that enabled the conduit to be installed at the Kings Road substation. The hydrant at the corner of Park Avenue and Crestwood Drive was taken out of service due to a motor vehicle accident. Minor repairs were made by the department and the hydrant was able to be returned to service. The Madison Water Department's annual fire hydrant and water main flushing program is completed with the exception of high traffic areas such as Route 124, Madison Avenue, and Park Avenue. The high traffic areas will be flushed next week at night. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Public safety, Mr. Range.
Thank you, Mayor. Before I jump into the public safety report, I just also want to add my thanks to the chorus following Bottle Hill Day. It was a great day. Not only to those who made the day itself great, but also those who worked well into the evening removing trash, reopening the roads, DPW police officers, and even the Director of Communications, Michael Pelissier, was loading pedestrian barriers till almost 9 o'clock at night. So it takes a village to make Bottle Hill Day happen. So also want to congratulate Chief Misha, Captain Longo, and the police department on their reaccreditation. And from the police department tonight, over the past several weeks, the Madison police officers have issued over 100 clean air commendations to motorists who have been observed abiding by the anti-idling laws. Get caught following the law and turning off your vehicle, and you could receive a clean air commendation for making a healthy choice, and that coupon is redeemable for 1 free bagel and a cup of coffee or tea at Madison Bagel Cafe at 23 Waverly Place. This initiative rewards those helping Madison stay green by eliminating pollution while they wait at school drop-off zones, picking folks up from New Jersey Transit, waiting at practices to finish, or just running in to grab takeout at one of our fine restaurants here in Madison. The Madison Police Department also wants to encourage residents to take their keys and lock their vehicles whenever they leave their vehicles to limit the risk of vehicle theft, even if it's just for a few minutes. And on October 27th, the Madison Police Department Community Relations Unit will be at the Madison High School from 6 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. taking part in the trunk or treat. This event will be in the student parking lot in front of the tennis court, so come by and say hi to the police department. And from the fire department. So far this month, the fire department has responded to 23 general alarms, 19 still alarms, 18 investigations, 38 medical calls, and that's a total of 98 calls so far for this month. The fire department has been busy visiting schools for Fire Prevention Month, which is this month in October. So far this month, we've had 2 second alarm structure fires occur in October. The first one was on October 6th, and that was on Niles Avenue. The other was October 15th at 17 Madison Avenue. The fire originated in the basement of Unit 56. Firefighters were able to hold the fire in the unit involved, with little damage to the adjacent apartments. One person was transported to the hospital for treatment, and one firefighter was also transported to the hospital and released with a minor injury. The fire department would also like to thank our neighboring mutual aid fire departments for their assistance at both fires. As we saw earlier tonight, Jack Downs has been promoted to the career division after serving as a volunteer since November of 2019. And lastly, now that Jack's a career firefighter, we need some more volunteers. So if you're interested in becoming a volunteer firefighter, please visit Rosenet or MadisonFD.com and check out that volunteers needed banner for the fire department. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. And Finance Borough Clerk and Public Works and Engineering, Mr. Forte.
Thank you, Mayor. From Public Works and Engineering, the Welby Facility Improvements Contract with VNL LLC has construction work proceeding in November for utility infrastructure for electric, primary, gas, and communications. Mott McDonald and JAM Architects are reviewing submittals and progress payments. The utility building roof contract with Joseph Doherty Co. Inc. indicated a November construction start, weather permitting, for the basic re-roofing work, which includes underlayment, flashing, vents, and shingles. Helena Ruman Architects will be reviewing submittals and progress payments. The MRC multipurpose courts contractor Halcon Inc. has indicated the light fixtures have been delivered and installation is scheduled before the end of this month. The Memorial Park Trails contract with Clark Moynihan has installed amenities, reached 98% completion, and is ready for punch list and final invoicing. The Green Avenue Pedestrian Improvement Contract with Riverview Construction has been punch listed and final invoices have been reviewed. Mill and overlay contracts with Chifano, Denville, Garden State, Campbell, and Jobs for Blue have been punch listed and final invoices reviewed. The sewer lining contract with National Water Main Cleaning Co. has been punch listed and final invoices reviewed. And the library interior contract with Daskell LLC has had all building permits issued, and Arcari Iovino Architects is reviewing submittals and invoicing. Interior demolition start work is currently planned for November 13th. The Museum of Early Trades contract with O'Hara Construction started November 2022, with Historic Building Architects reviewing submittals and invoicing. Several completion items regarding flooring, windows, and HVAC remain. And from administration, staff have been working with department heads on the updated 5-year capital plan, which should be finished in November. It is anticipated that the plan will be presented publicly to council at the December meeting, which is what has been done in the past years. The goal is to give council an idea of what capital projects are on the list for the next year and beyond. Discussions on capital will be folded into the entire budget review process, which will occur at the public council meetings in January, February, and March. On October 16th, the Borough wired the Board of Education $3,941,111.67. This is their monthly share of the property taxes. And from the tax collector, the tax collector's office would like to remind residents that the fourth quarter taxes are due November 1st. Because the 10th falls on a holiday, the grace period ends on Monday, November 13th. Also, a final reminder that the deadline to file this year's PTR or senior freeze form is October 31st. Please give us a call or stop in if you have any questions. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Now move on to communications and petitions.
Yes, Mayor. Mayor and Council received a letter dated today from resident Donna Burke of Green Village Road regarding on-street parking.
Thank you. And now we're on to our first of two invitations for public comment. This one is limited to things that are on our agenda discussion and resolutions that are part of our consent agenda. So you may comment on the following things. The Madison Volunteer Ambulance Corps EMT Services presentation, the Madison Police Accreditation presentation, which we already saw, the 2023 Best Practices Checklist, and these are the resolutions that you can comment on that are part of the consent. Resolution 281 is authorizing a grant agreement between the Borough of Madison and the State of New Jersey for a Department of Environmental Protection Tier A grant, and this is for the amount of $25,000. Resolution 282 is execution of a memorandum of understanding for the Township of Long Hill for styrofoam recycling. They process the recycling we collect, so the process will remain the same. We're here residents in Madison, Borough of Chatham, Township of Chatham can bring their styrofoam to the Madison Department of Public Works recycling site for no charge, and then we take it to Long Hill. Resolution 283 is authorizing a Christmas tree sale at Dodge Field by the Rotary Club from November 24th through December 24th. Resolution 284 is resolution of support of Senate Bill 3739, delay of fourth round affordable housing obligation from July 1 to July 2028. There is a pending bill. Our resolution is supporting it, providing the legislation is amended to require the state of New Jersey and panels of an administrative agency to implement formal planning process to determine and monitor affordable housing obligation for each municipality no later than July 1, 2024. It's our feeling that without that administrative body, the delay would be tossed out by the courts, and we do need something in place. What we have now is not working. And Resolution 285 is approving a raffle license submitted by St. Vincent Martyr Church, and that's for November 9th. And Resolution 286 is connected to our presentation on the our EMT services. So this is a authorizing agreement between the Borough of Madison and the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Corps regarding emergency medical technician services. So those are the resolutions. Anyone want to comment on those resolutions or the agenda items, please step forward. Seeing none, I close this part of the meeting and we move on to our agenda discussions. And Jim, Chief, Eric, sorry, I'm sorry, yep, thank you. Yeah.
Give Michael a minute to bring up the presentation. While he's doing that, I'll just give a little bit of color here. For the last several months, but really in the last 3 or 4 months, we've had a working group together with representatives from the leadership and membership of the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Squad, Ambulance Corps, sorry. Myself as Public Safety Liaison, Council Member Landrigan as the backup liaison, and also bringing his years of ambulance squad service to bear on this issue. The police chief, Captain Longo from the police department, as well as Chief Wickman and his team at the fire department, to determine the best path forward for continued ambulance service in Madison. So, next slide, Michael. Here in Madison, we are incredibly fortunate. I forgot Jim Burnett. Jim Burnett and Ray Cody, who have both been instrumental in this process as well. So that's important, and I know Jim doesn't like thank yous, but you're getting one anyway. We have been very, very fortunate in Madison to have a wonderful volunteer ambulance corps founded nearly 70 years ago in 1954. They've handled more than 60,000 emergency calls servicing our residents here in Madison during that time. Next slide, Michael. But the volunteer landscape has changed, and we see that in all kinds of organizations which have struggled to find great volunteers, or as many as they would like, whether it's the fire department or the ambulance corps, Little League, your churches, synagogues, temples. It's difficult to find volunteers who have the time and the wherewithal to commit to something like that. Layer in the complexities of the EMT certifications, liabilities, the COVID-19 pandemic, and it just slowly chips away at the viability of a 100% volunteer ambulance service. Around Morris County, we've seen volunteer ambulance corps ceasing operations, including Morristown, who, 20 years ago was probably the flagship ambulance squad in Morris County, and most recently in East Hanover. So what does this mean for Madison? While we still have great dedicated volunteers in the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Corps, they can no longer provide the 24/7 shift coverage alone. So we're here to support and bolster them in any way we can. So we've looked at a number of solutions here, and the one that this working group is recommending is a continued partnership with the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Squad. We looked at various models, best ways to do it in Madison, and the volunteers are still the kind of the cornerstone of the solution. So with this, the members of the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Squad will still continue to be able to volunteer and ride, but with a service on the community, which is, why you join something like the Volunteer Ambulance Squad or the fire department. You don't volunteer for that so you can push paper and worry about schedules all day long, right? You want to do it to serve your community. The Ambulance Corps will continue to exist as a non-for-profit entity and will continue to have officers that make those Volunteer Ambulance Corps related decisions. They will also serve as an advisory capacity as we transition to this new model. The Borough and the Fire Chief, under Chief Wickman's leadership, will take the lead on the transition with support from the Volunteer Ambulance Corps as we transition more of these services to our paid fire department. The Borough will obtain the required licensing and to fold those EMS services into the fire department and to be able to do what they call soft billing. The Borough will also hire per diem EMTs to supplement the current volunteers in our fire department. And I'm also pleased to say that earlier tonight in executive session, we have agreed as a council to support the fire department further by expanding the full-time fire department career division to 14 firefighters, which we just brought him in tonight. So we're as part of this overall plan. The fire department will also manage and do the schedule, which will include the members from the Volunteer Ambulance Squad, the per diem EMTs, and of course our firefighters as well. This solution allows us to keep response times low, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, which is where we've been for a long time, and as Bob and others will tell you, is critical in life or death situations. Next slide, Michael. Obviously, this is not without its financial impact, but there is nothing more important that we could be spending dollars on. So as part of this, we see the exposure for the borough as somewhere around the maximum of $350,000 a year. There are several, this is a conservative budget, but there are several unknowns. Certainly in 2024, as we transition to this model and need to stand up operationally, there may also be operational savings that we have not anticipated here as we bring some of these services to borough employees that are already kind of on the books. Some of the unknowns, of course, are volunteer shift coverage, and of course, revenue may be higher or lower depending on billable calls. CFO Jim Burnett will be sharing more detailed financials as we go through the 2024 budget process. Just to put a pin in this, we are very, very fortunate in Madison to have the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Corps serving our community for the last 70 years. They will continue to serve us well into the future. We are equally as lucky to have a great combination career and volunteer fire department that's able to support our other volunteers in this way. And again, I can't thank the chief and Jim enough for all the time that they've spent pulling all of the details of this together. And on behalf of Councilman Landrigan and I, we certainly look forward to this new era of partnership to continue this great service that we've had for more than 70 years in Madison. So with that, Bob, I'll throw it over to you if I missed anything, or if you want to add any comments or ask the first questions.
No, you didn't miss a thing. This is kind of a rough night for me, obviously. You know, I had the luxury or I was very fortunate to ride with that squad for almost 26 years. And, you know, my first crew chief was one of the founding members, Jack Lutz. You put him up there. What I will say is this. They are a wonderful group of professionals. And it took that professional attitude, I'll call it, to understand that, you know, they're hurting right now through no fault of their own. I mean, you can't shake volunteers out of a tree. They're just not there. And COVID beat up the volunteer crew even more, the volunteer pool. They're professionals. I also want to thank the professionals on this side, Jim, Ray, the mayor, you, the council for supporting this, because it keeps everybody involved. It's a true partnership. And also I want to thank Chief Wickman. You know, I don't know if he's told anybody this, but he used to ride on the squad with me. He is an ideal person to be partnering with the ambulance corps in managing this new partnership. So I think this is a good thing, and I support it. I just want to thank everybody. I think the town will benefit because you got to keep that response time in what we used to call the 4-minute window. You got to keep it there, and that's important. So thank you, Eric.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Mayor.
Thank you. A couple of comments. I'll take other comments also just from me. One, this reinforces, you know, or to reinforce this, we still have the need for volunteers. So the more volunteers that step forward for the ambulance corps or the fire department, the better off we are all together. And it is a great opportunity, as Bob has mentioned, that, you know, his career was not going to be in EMT, but he did it because he wanted to serve, or a Chief Wickman who did it because, you know, his career as a professional hockey player was not going to pan out, and here he is as a chief. So it is a great opportunity in so many ways. And I do want to clarify a little bit on that 14th firefighter, as we, you know, announced that we will have 14 career firefighters, and we added a 14th tonight. What we did tonight was anticipation of a possible vacancy that was coming up in January, and we wanted to get it backfilled right away, primarily so they could be certified as an EMT as quickly as possible. Should the vacancy occur, we will then go to the hiring list and hire the next person on that list, and so maintain the 14. And if it doesn't occur, the vacancy doesn't occur, as of today, we're at 14, and we'll remain at 14. Any other comments or questions? So what we will do is I'll ask for a motion for Resolution 286, 2023, resolution of the Borough of Madison authorizing an agreement between the Borough of Madison and the Madison Volunteer Ambulance Corps regarding emergency medical technicians, EMT services.
Mayor, I move the ordinance.
And a second. John, thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
All right, and as become a tradition in the last couple of meetings, is we will sign the agreement right now. Kevin DiBiase, please come forward. Vic and Pat, you want to come up also, please, as representatives, and Eric and Bob, come on out. Chief. You can grab a seat there, Kevin. Relationship, it's just a confirmation and a expansion expansion of a great new relationship.
It's been a long time coming. Membership has been low throughout the whole county with us and the fire department as well. We get people come in, they go away for college, and then we lose people, so this is a big help to us. We're still going to provide the same service to the community, even better. Thanks.
Now we move on to best practices, which I guess is exiting the room. So as part of our requirements of the state, we have to do a presentation every year on our 2023 best practices checklist. And our CFO, Jim Burnett, who has just returned to the room, shall do that right now.
Sorry, Mayor, this is going to be about 90 seconds. Every year, the State Division of Local Government Services require that we complete a best practices checklist. It's a grade of how well we're doing. There's multiple areas in which we are asked to ask questions on ethics, personnel, budget, financial administration, capital projects, transparency, procurement, cybersecurity, shared services, solid waste, and alike. We scored 46 out of 48, and I checked with my high school math teacher, Miss Popel, and she said that's still an A. 46 out of 48 is considered an A, so that's good. The only two that we could not answer positive for both had to do with reserves. We have a strong fund balance, as we all know, so we do not have a separate reserve for what's called accumulated absences, which is in preparation of someone that's going to be retiring that has a lot of sick time, and we don't have a reserve for storms. Again, because we have the electric utility and other well-funded budgeted lines, we don't have a need to have that extra money set aside for that. So those are the two items we answered no to, and that's how we got 46 out of 48. This item gets sent to the Division of Local Government Services, eventually posted on Rosenet, and that's it.
Very good. Excellent. Any questions? All right. We now move on to ordinances for hearing. Will the clerk please read the statement?
Yes, the ordinances scheduled for hearing were introduced by title and passed on the first reading at the regular meeting of the council held on September the 27th, 2023. They were posted and filed according to law, and copies were made available to the general public requesting same.
I call for ordinances for second reading. Ask clerk to read said ordinances by title. Please note that ordinances 52, 53, and 54, which were introduced at our last council meeting, have a hearing set for November 13th, since our last council meeting was on a Wednesday, and we didn't have the requisite 14 days. Ordinance 49-2023.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison amending Chapter 94, Appendix C of the Borough Code entitled Electric Department Rules and Regulations regarding additions and alterations.
I open the hearing on ordinance 49. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move ordinance 49-2023.
Second. Any council discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 49-2023 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. Ordinance 50-2023.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $325,000 from the Electric Capital Improvement Fund for the purchase of a new Freightliner single bucket truck and accessories.
I open hearing for ordinance 50. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move ordinance 50-2023.
Second.
Council discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 50-2021 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. Ordinance 51-2023.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison appropriating $150,000 from the General Capital Improvement Fund for funding of a 2022 Ford E50 Horton 553 Type 3 ambulance.
I open the hearing on ordinance 51. Anyone wishing to comment, please step forward. Seeing none, I close the hearing.
Mayor, I move ordinance 51-2023.
Second.
Any council discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
I declare ordinance 51-2023 adopted and finally passed, and ask the clerk to publish notice thereof in the newspaper and file the ordinance in accordance with the law. We're now on to our second of two invitations for public comment. This is when you may comment on any topic. Please step forward, state your name, your address, and you may start speaking. Try to keep your comments to 3 minutes, but we do give you a 1-minute grace period. That's you.
I have to sign in. My name is Mary Jane Lunt. And for those who don't recognize me, I do wear other clothes other than Save the Drew Forest. But, oops, I didn't need to do that. I am a resident of Madison for over 35 years at 10 Highland Terrace. And I'm very sorry to say that the ambulance people have left. I only have, and I didn't want to say this because I'm going to cry, I think, how wonderful they were to me when my husband was so sick. They were there whenever I needed them. The police the same way. And I'm so sorry. I had no idea that this was going to be presented today, but I can't tell you enough how wonderful they've been, and I look forward to your new arrangements, and I don't think that there will be any reason for it to be any different, because I don't know the name of the guy, ponytail in the back. I don't know his name. He's been at my house many times, and he's just been always wonderful. So anyway, but what I came here to say is I just wanted, and I will be wearing my shirt and my Save the Drew Forest on Wednesday night when we all go before the commissioners again. I just wanted to share with you the council what has happened in the last meeting on the 10th or the 12th of October, when we received regional support from the Borough of Mountain Lakes. A former Borough Councilwoman got up and certainly supported the purchase of the Drew Forest for conservation. We also had incredible support from the Morris Township in stating that they in fact passed two enthusiastically, as I guess her name was Carol Wilson, said resolutions by both their environmental council and also their governing board to support Madison in their application for the $10 million grant. We also received support from Parsippany as well. They get their water from the Berry Valley Aquifer just like we do. And he was very persuasive in what he said and what his presentations were. And we can thank the Madison Eagle for reporting all those details, and you don't need to hear them from me. But in any case, my point to being here is also to thank you as the borough, to be a resident of Madison for all these many years, and know that our neighboring communities also support us and support Morris County. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mary Jane. It was great to see such a strong turnout at that meeting, which was for the most part, very little public part, and only a tip of the iceberg number of people were able to speak, but they felt the support. They heard that they got the message, I think.
Off the record, but I thought it was rude. What they did to us, I mean, they only let 6 people speak, and we had 50 people. Anyway.
Thank you. Anyone else wishing to speak? Seeing none, I close this part of the meeting. We move on to introductory ordinances. Will the clerk please read a statement?
The ordinance scheduled for first hearing has a hearing date set for November the 13th, 2023. Will be posted in the Madison Eagle, posted on the bulletin board, and made available to members of the public requesting copies.
Mayor, I move ordinance.
I'm sorry, I call ordinances for first reading. Ask the borough clerk to read said ordinance by title. Ordinance 55-2023.
Ordinance of the Borough of Madison authorizing the sale of real property located at 28 Walnut Street and the end of Community Place, identified as Block 1601, lots 42 and 1.01.
Mayor, I move ordinance 55-2023.
Second.
Council discussion, and this is the affordable housing, and this is just to transfer the property for the affordable housing. We have groundbreaking on Friday. Any further discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
All right, we now move on to consent agenda resolutions. Will the clerk please read the statement?
The consent agenda resolutions will be enacted with a single motion. Any resolution requiring expenditure is supported by a certification of availability of funds. Any resolution requiring discussion will be removed from the consent agenda. All resolutions will be reflected in full in the minutes.
Mayor, I move approval of ordinance of resolutions R-281-2023 through 286-2023.
Actually, 285 because we did
285 because we did 286 already.
Second.
Any discussion or any that need to be pulled? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
All right, there is no unfinished business. Approval of vouchers. Will the clerk please read the voucher totals?
From the current fund, $6,212,731.46. From the general capital fund, $1,022,806.83. From the electric operating fund, $464,474.60. And from the electric capital fund, $8,571.41. From the water operating fund, $24,637.26. And from the water capital fund, $8,595.31. From the trust, $88,916.58, which makes the total $7,830,733.45.
Mayor, I move payment of the vouchers.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Mr. Hoover?
Yes.
Mr. Landrigan?
Yes.
Mr. Range?
Yes.
Mr. Forte?
Yes.
And there is no new business, so Mr. Forte.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you all.